Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago, and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Cabinet approves investment of over 5,200 crore rupees for 850 megawatt hydropower project in Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi releases over 2,500 crore rupees to more than 6 lakh beneficiaries in Uttar Pradesh under Pradhanmantri Yojna Gramin. 10th round of talks between government and farmer unions concludes in New Delhi. Election Commission says those excluded from Assam NRC can exercise their voting rights in assembly polls in the state. First consignment of Made in India COVID-19 vaccines reaches Bhutan and Maldives. And Joe Biden to be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States of America tonight. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news. The Union Cabinet has given its approval for the investment of over 5,200 crore rupees for the 850 megawatt Ratley hydroelectric project located on Chenab River in Kishtwar in Jammu and Kashmir. This will be a new joint venture company, JVC, of National Hydroelectric Power Corporation, NHPC, in Jammu, with equity contribution of 51%, and Kashmir State Power Development Corporation Limited, JKSPDC, with 49%. The government is also supporting the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir by providing a grant of 776.44 crore rupees for equity contribution of JKSPDC in the JVC to be set up for construction of Ratley HE project. The Ratley hydroelectric project shall be commissioned within 60 months. The power generated from the project will help in providing balancing of grid and will improve the power supply position. Our correspondent reports the construction activities of the project will provide direct and indirect employment to around 4,000 persons and will contribute immensely in the overall socio-economic development of Jammu and Kashmir. The Union Cabinet was today apprised of signing of Memorandum of Understanding MOU between India and Uzbekistan for cooperation in the field of solar energy. The main area of work under the MOU is to identify research, demonstration and initiation of pilot projects between the National Institute of Solar Energy NISE under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy India and the International Solar Energy Institute Uzbekistan. The research and cooperation will primarily focus in the areas of solar photovoltaic, storage technologies and transfer of technologies. Based on mutual agreement, both parties would work for implementation and deployment of pilot projects in International Solar Alliance member countries.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today released financial assistance of around 2,691 crore rupees to over 6 lakh beneficiaries in Uttar Pradesh under Pradhanmantri Yojna Gramin through video conferencing. The financial assistance include release of first installment to 5.3 lakh beneficiaries and second installment to 80,000 beneficiaries have already availed first installment of assistance under the Pradhanmantri Yojna Gramin. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister asserted that Atmanirbhar Bharat is directly linked to the self-confidence of the citizens of the country, and a house of one's own enhances their self-confidence manifold. He listed out various development projects underway in Uttar Pradesh.
अनेक एक्सप्रेसवे का तेजी से चल रहा काम तो दूसरी तरफ एम्स जैसे बड़े संस्थान मेरठ एक्सप्रेसवे लेकर बुंदेलखंड गंगा एक्सप्रेसवे तक यूपी में विकास की रफ्तार तेज करेंगे। यही वजह है कि आज यूपी में बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां भी आ रही हैं और छोटे छोटे उद्योगों के लिए भी रास्ते खुले हैं। यूपी की वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन प्रोडक्ट इस योजना से स्थानीय कारीगरों को फिर से काम मिलने लगा है। हमारे गांव में रहने वाले स्थानीय कारीगरों की, गरीबों की, श्रमिकों की यही आत्मनिर्भरता आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लक्ष्य को पूरा करेगी।
The Prime Minister said the scheme was launched 5 years ago and in a short span of time this Yojna has started changing the face of Indian villages. He recalled that during the time of previous governments, the poor did not have the confidence that the government could be of any help in getting this house constructed. The Prime Minister said the poor had to face the brunt of wrong policies. Mr. Modi said, keeping in mind the plight of the poor people, Pradhanmantri Yojna was started with an aim to provide every poor family with a house before completion of 75 years of independence.
गांव में रहने वाले गरीब को पक्की छत देने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना ग्रामीण शुरू की गई। देश ने आजादी के 75 साल पूरे होने तक हर गरीब परिवार को पक्का घर देने का लक्ष्य तय किया। इस लक्ष्य को पूरा करने के लिए बीते वर्षों में लगभग 2 करोड़ घर सिर्फ ग्रामीण इलाकों में ही बनाए गए। अकेले प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत भी करीब 1.25 करोड़ घरों की चाबी लोगों को दी जा चुकी है। 1.25 करोड़ घरों की चाबी। इन घरों को बनाने के लिए करीब 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए अकेले केंद्र सरकार ने दिए हैं।
The Prime Minister said Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojna has moved rapidly under the present government and has helped the poorest of the poor in Uttar Pradesh. He stressed on the aspect of women empowerment in the scheme, as these units are mostly in the name of women of the family.
प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत ये घर ऐसे परिवारों को मिल रहे हैं जिनके पास अपना पक्का घर नहीं था। इनमें गांव के सामान्य कारीगर हैं, हमारे दहाड़ी मजदूर हैं, हमारे खेत मजदूर हैं। इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ गांवों में रहने वाले उन छोटे किसानों को भी मिल रहा है जिनके पास बीघे 2 बीघे जमीन होती है। हमारे देश में बड़ी संख्या में भूमिहीन किसान भी हैं जो किसी तरह अपना गुजारा करते हैं। इनकी पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी गुजरती रही, ये अपनी मेहनत से देश का पेट भरते रहे, लेकिन अपने लिए पक्के मकान और छत का इंतजाम नहीं कर पाते। आज ऐसे सभी परिवारों की पहचान करके भी उन्हें इस योजना से जोड़ा जा रहा है।
The Prime Minister termed Pradhan Mantri Swamitra Yojna as a game changer in improving the lives of the people living in rural areas. He said work is going on to provide fast internet access to more than 6 lakh villages through optical fibers. This project would also create new employment opportunities for the villagers.
अभी कुछ महीने पहले देश ने एक और अभियान शुरू किया है जिनका लाभ हमारे गांव के लोगों को होने जा रहा है। ये अभियान है देश के 6 लाख से ज्यादा गांवों तक तेज गति वाला इंटरनेट पहुंचाने का। इस अभियान के तहत लाखों गांवों में ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाए जाएंगे। ये काम भी गांव के लोगों के लिए रोजगार के नए अवसर बनाएगा।
On the occasion, the Prime Minister also interacted with beneficiaries of 5 districts, namely Khiri, Chitrakoot, Varanasi, Ayodhya and Saharanpur. One of the beneficiaries, Rajkumari from Chitrakoot district of Bundelkhand, told Prime Minister Modi that the house she received under the scheme will resolve a lot of problems of her life.
राजकुमारी जी नमस्ते।
नमस्ते सरकार।
नमस्ते। तो आपका खुद का घर, ये सपना तो कभी आपने देखा ही होगा।
हाँ सरकार।
तो अभी सपना पूरा हो रहा है?
पूरा हो गए।
अच्छा, अभी जो कच्ची छत का घर है उसमें काफी दिक्कत होती होगी?
हाँ दिक्कत आवती सरकार, पानी आवत है।
हाँ, और अभी पक्का घर बनने से क्या होगा?
बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगी, बन जाएगी तो अच्छा हो जाएगी, नीक लगेगी, बड़े भी हम सुरक्षित रहेंगी, लड़का बच्चा रहेंगे।
अच्छा, आपको पता है कितने रुपये मिलेंगे आपको कुल?
1,20,000।
आपको पक्का मालूम है?
हाँ।
और अगर मानो किसी ने कम भेजा तो क्या करोगे?
नहीं सरकार, पूरे मिलेगा।
अच्छा, पक्का विश्वास है आपको सरकार पे?
हाँ सरकार।
Union Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath were also present on the occasion. So far, 1.26 crore houses have been built across the country under this Yojna, which was launched in November 2016 by Prime Minister. Along with a financial grant under the scheme, the beneficiary of this Yojna are also provided support of unskilled labour wages under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme and assistance of 12,000 rupees for construction of toilets through Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin.
The 10th round of talks between the central government and farmer unions was held at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi today. The meeting was attended by Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, and Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Som Prakash, and representatives of various farmers' unions. The next round of talks between central government and farmers' unions will be held on 22nd January. Addressing the media in New Delhi, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said that during discussions, the government has said that it is ready to put on hold the implementation of the 3 farm laws for 1 or 1.5 years.
हम लोगों ने सरकार की ओर से यूनियन को ये प्रस्ताव दिया। सरकार 1-1.5 साल तक भी कानून के क्रियान्वयन को स्थगित करने के लिए सहमत है। इस दौरान किसान और सरकार के प्रतिनिधि मिलकर समस्याओं का हल खोजें। किसान यूनियन ने इसको बहुत गंभीरता से लिया और उन्होंने कहा कि ये प्रस्ताव हम कल अपने यहाँ विचार विमर्श करेंगे और परसों दोपहर में 12 बजे हम लोग दोबारा बैठक में आएंगे और आपको निर्णय से अवगत कराएंगे। मुझे लगता है कि बातचीत सार्थकता की ओर बढ़ रही है और संभावना व्यक्त की जा सकती है कि 22 तारीख को समाधान की ओर हम लोग बढ़ सकें।
Madhya Pradesh reported a record purchase of 37.26 lakh metric tons of paddy on minimum support price in the state this year. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Madhya Pradesh recorded excess paddy purchase in all the districts of the state on support price except Vidisha compared to last year. Districts with maximum procurement include Hoshangabad, Raisen and Sihor. Payment of rupees 5,000 crore has also been disbursed to the farmers. Chief Minister Mr. Chauhan, while reviewing the work of paddy procurement on support price, instructed the officials that the remaining payment of farmers should also be made at the earliest. Registration of farmers for Rabi will be done from 25th January to 20th February. For this, a total of 4,529 registration centers have been set up in the state. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Union Government has convened an all-party meeting on the 30th of this month in view of the budget session of Parliament. During the meeting, it will seek support of political parties to ensure smooth functioning of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Talking to media, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prasad said the meeting will take place virtually. He added that the government is ready for a discussion on any issue on the floor of the House. The budget session will begin on the 29th of this month with President Ramnath Kovind's address to the joint sitting of both houses. The union budget will be presented on the 1st of February.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Cabinet approves investment of over 5,200 crore rupees for 850 megawatt hydropower project in Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi releases over 2,500 crore rupees to more than 6 lakh beneficiaries in Uttar Pradesh under Pradhanmantri Yojna Gramin. 10th round of talks between government and farmers' unions concludes in New Delhi. Election Commission says those excluded from Assam NRC can exercise their voting rights in assembly polls in the state. First consignment of Made in India COVID-19 vaccines reaches Bhutan and Maldives, and Joe Biden to be sworn in as 46th President of United States of America tonight. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened and what is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. From 10:30 to 11 p.m. every night on 100.1 FM All India Radio.
Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora has said that as per the guidelines issued by the Union Home Ministry, those people whose names were not included in Assam's National Register of Citizens (NRC) could also exercise their voting rights in the assembly polls scheduled in the state this year. The Chief Election Commissioner was talking to newspersons in Guwahati today after holding a series of discussions with various stakeholders. A full team of Election Commission, led by the Chief Election Commissioner, was on a 3-day visit to the state to take stock of poll preparedness in Assam. Mr. Arora said voting rights of people should not be affected, as has already been cleared by the Home Ministry. He said the Election Commission is committed to conducting a free, fair and peaceful, transparent ethical and COVID-safe election in the state. After concluding visit to Assam, the full bench of the Election Commission of India arrived at Kolkata in West Bengal this evening on a 3-day visit to take stock of the law and order situation and poll preparedness for the ensuing assembly elections in West Bengal. The bench comprises the Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. Sunil Arora, Election Commissioners Sushil Chandra and Rajiv Kumar. The bench held meeting with the Chief Electoral Officer of West Bengal, Ariz Aftab. ADG Police Law and Order Gyanwant Singh was also present in the meeting.
One more MLA of the Trinamool Congress has joined BJP today. Arindam Bhattacharya, MLA of Santipur constituency of West Bengal, joined BJP in New Delhi in the presence of the party's National General Secretary, Kailash Vijayvargiya. Mr. Bhattacharya alleged that the youth in Bengal are jobless and the present government lacks proper vision. India continues to leap ahead in its fight against COVID-19 with over 1 crore 2,45,000 cumulative recoveries so far. With this, the national recovery rate stands at 96.70%. The rate of new daily infections slipped to 13,283 cases in the past 24 hours. During the same interval, nearly 17,000 people successfully recovered from the viral contagion.
The Union Health Ministry today said that a total of 14,119 sessions of COVID-19 vaccination were conducted in 20 states and union territories of the country. 1,12,007 beneficiaries were vaccinated on the 5th day today since the launch of the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive on the 16th of this month. Addressing the media in New Delhi, Additional Health Secretary Dr. Manohar Agnani said a total of 7,86,842 beneficiaries have been vaccinated in 5 days. He said there were no cases of any serious or severe adverse event following immunization attributable to vaccination reported till date in the country. Dr. Agnani also informed that CoWIN software has also been enhanced and a new feature has been added in the ongoing session.
कोविन सॉफ्टवेयर उसमें भी हम संशोधन करते जा रहे हैं और एक नया फीचर इसमें हमने ऐड किया है जिसको हम अलॉट बेनिफिशियरी है जो पहले से ही ऑनगोइंग सेशंस है उसमें इसको जोड़ा है। इसका उद्देश्य ये है कि हम अधिकतम लोगों को जोड़ सकें और हमारी जो कवरेज है वो बेहतर हो सके, लेकिन जो बेनिफिशियरीज ऑलरेडी रजिस्टर्ड हैं डेटाबेस में उन्हीं के लिए ये सुविधा है। और इस इन्हांसमेंट में हमने ये भी प्रावधान किया है कि यदि किसी व्यक्ति का नाम तलाशना हो तो डेटाबेस में उसके मोबाइल नंबर के माध्यम से खोजा जा सकता है।
India has started the supply of COVID vaccines to its neighboring and key partner countries. India today dispatched the COVID vaccines to Bhutan and Maldives under Vaccine Maitri initiative. The External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that Vaccine Maitri has begun and the consignment has reached Bhutan. Mr. Jaishankar said it is another example of the country's neighborhood first policy. Bhutan's Foreign Minister Tandi Dorji expressed profound gratitude to India for the generous gift of 150,000 doses of Covishield vaccine developed by Serum Institute of India, SII. Mr. Dorji thanked India for its abiding friendship and unconditional support to Bhutan's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Maldives Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid said the country is happy to receive as grant 1 lakh doses of SII developed Covishield. Mr. Shahid said, as always, India stands strong and steadfast with Maldives as the first responder in any crisis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India is deeply honoured to be a long-trusted partner in meeting the healthcare needs of the global community.
India is regarded as a pharmacy of the world, especially for affordable medicine. Despite our own needs, we have ensured medical supplies to over 123 partner countries.
Under Vaccine Maitri initiative, India is gifting 2 million doses of COVID vaccine to Bangladesh. More from a special correspondent in Dhaka.
2 million doses of corona vaccine will be arriving in Dhaka tomorrow as gift from India. Health Minister of Bangladesh, Zahid Malik, and High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Vikram Doraiswamy, will receive the COVID-19 vaccine gift in Dhaka tomorrow. Apart from the 2 million doses being sent by India as gift, Beximco Pharmaceuticals Limited of Bangladesh had signed an agreement with Serum Institute of India to purchase 30 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine over the next 6 months. The vaccine gift is part of India's commitment to use its vaccine production capacity to help humanity fight COVID-19. The vaccination program in Bangladesh is scheduled to start from the first week of February. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Director at All India Institute of Ayurveda, Dr. Tanuja Manoj Nisari, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:10 p.m. onwards.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held a bilateral meeting with Singapore Defence Minister Dr. Ng Eng Hen through video conferencing today. Mr. Singh termed the meeting as productive, saying India is fortunate to have a defence partner like Singapore. He said today's interaction will benefit both the countries on many bilateral issues that are being pursued to further strengthen the special relationship. A bilateral air exercise between Indian Air Force and French Air and Space Forest Desert Night 21 commenced at the Air Force Station in Jodhpur from today. The air exercise will continue till 24th January. On the first day, Air Commodores of both the forces had courtesy meeting and communicated about the daily schedule to each other.
Lieutenant General Chander Prasad Mohanty, recently appointed as the next Vice Chief of Indian Army, has said that in view of the changing nature of modern warfare, the Indian Army has focused on modernization and technological advancement. Interacting with the media during his visit to the Sainik School at Bhubaneswar in Odisha today, the Lieutenant General said that the Indian Army has been receiving constant support from the Prime Minister and Defence Minister for capacity development and infrastructure improvement. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Lieutenant General Mr. Mohanty said that the Indian Army is constantly upscaling its prowess through better weapon systems, better communication systems and infrastructural upgradation. Being an ODR himself, the Vice Chief Designate called upon the youths of the state to join the defence forces. He said at least one youth from every village of Odisha should join the forces to act as role models for others. For this to happen, he elaborated, the youths need to be encouraged. Chander, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
A delegation of 31 members of Parliament reached Srinagar in today for a 3-day visit to take stock of various developmental projects, tourism revival activities and road connectivity in Jammu and Kashmir. The members are part of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture. Led by BJP's Rajya Sabha member T.G. Venkatesh, the delegation comprises members from both houses of Parliament. From tomorrow, the delegation will visit several places and hold meetings with several delegations to take stock of the developments taking place in various sectors.
The government today said that avian influenza has been confirmed in 6 states for poultry birds. These states are Kerala, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Punjab. The ministry said the disease has also been confirmed in 10 states for crows, migratory and wild birds. These states and union territories are Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, Rajasthan and Punjab. He said control and containment operations are going on in the affected epicenters of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Haryana. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has stressed upon the need to make public transport more people-friendly, safe and pollution-free. Addressing the 40th meeting of Transport Development Council, Mr. Gadkari said that states must increasingly adopt alternative fuels in the operation of buses and stressed the use of CNG, LNG, electric vehicles and ethanol blended fuels.
Road Transport and Highways Ministry and Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO today signed a Memorandum of Understanding to strengthen collaboration in the field of technical exchange and cooperation on sustainable geohazard management. The MOU was signed by Secretary in the Road and Transport Ministry, Girdhar Armane, and DRDO Secretary Dr. Satish Reddy. The delegates at the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, at Goa have expressed satisfaction at the way the festival is being conducted despite trying times of pandemic. Let us know more about the happenings today from our Panaji correspondent Tushar.
Film producer and distributor of the Malayalam film industry G.P. Vijay Kumar said that there was a big opposition when OTT made its appearance, citing that it will end theatrical releases. However, the traditional film industry, theatres and blockbuster movies will continue to stay despite the OTT and TV channels being around. They only complement the entertainment business of the cinema, financially making it more lucrative, Mr. Vijay Kumar added. He expressed his views during a virtual in-conversation conversation on changing scenarios in Indian film production today. He said that the taste and choices of the moviegoers have changed considerably. They are becoming more selective. In the meanwhile, film division paid tribute to the well-known documentary and animation filmmaker Pramod Pati today. Pramod Pati is known as the father of Indian New Wave cinema. With the Mukesh Thali, Tushar Jadhav for AIR News from Panji, Goa.
Guru Gobind Singh Jayanti is being observed across the country with great fervour and enthusiasm today. This year marks the 354th birth anniversary of 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born at Patna Sahib in 1666. He became the 10th Guru of Sikhism at only 9 years of age after the death of his father, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. The day, which is also known as Prakash Parv or Guru Gobind Singh Prakash Utsav. On the auspicious occasion, the Sikh community remembered Guru Gobind Singh Ji's contribution by offering prayers. Special langars were also organized. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the festivities around Guru Gobind Singh Ji's birth anniversary were muted. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have paid tributes to Guru Gobind Singh Ji on the auspicious occasion.
Joe Biden will take oath as the 46th President of the United States of America at a scaled-back ceremony in Washington tonight that has been largely stripped of its usual pomp due to both coronavirus as well as security concerns. After taking oath, 78-year-old Biden will become the oldest U.S. president in history. His deputy, Kamala Harris, will be sworn in as 49th Vice President of the country. The daughter of immigrants from Jamaica and India, she will make history as America's first woman and first person with South Asian roots to take the office of Vice President. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will take the oath on the west front of the U.S. Capitol building at 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time tonight. Meanwhile, in his farewell address, former President Donald Trump extended his wishes to the Biden administration. Mr. Trump, along with Melania Trump, left White House for Florida ahead of the oath-taking ceremony, handing over the charge to Joe Biden administration.
Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha today declared open Premier League, an ambitious sporting event for the youth in Jammu. Speaking on the occasion, Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing a revolution in the sports sector and it is heading towards becoming a sporting powerhouse. The Lieutenant Governor said that Jammu and Kashmir is perhaps the first to organize 1,250 matches across all the districts in 4 different disciplines such as football, hockey, volleyball and kabaddi. Around 8,500 players are taking part in the games. This Premier League is an ambitious sporting event for the youth that will enhance the quality of competition and performance of the players, ensuring their participation in national and international levels. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital is likely to have strong surface winds during daytime. The temperature will hover between 8 and 20 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a clear sky. The minimum temperature will be around 18, while the maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees Celsius. Chennai will witness mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 24 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be fog in the morning and a partly cloudy sky later. The city will observe a minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 27 degrees. Srinagar will have fog in the morning and a mainly clear sky later. Temperature will hover between -6 and 10 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be around 7, while the maximum will be around 22 degrees. Leh will have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be around -13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 6 degrees. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -6 and 11 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, sky will be mainly clear. The temperature will hover between 3 and 19 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cabinet approves investment of over 5,200 crore rupees for 850 megawatt hydropower project in Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi releases over 2,500 crore rupees to more than 6 lakh beneficiaries in Uttar Pradesh under Pradhanmantri Yojna Gramin. 10th round of talks between government and farmers' unions concludes in New Delhi. Election Commission says those excluded from Assam NRC can exercise their voting rights in assembly polls in the state. First consignment of Made in India COVID-19 vaccines reaches Bhutan and Maldives. And Joe Biden to be sworn in as 46th President of United States of America tonight. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.